Media Day 2019, we get ready for another exciting season of West Branch football. Coach Pedersen joining us right now. Coach, here we are on the Little Rose Bowl field, Butch Pedersen field, and getting ready for the start of this season. Same schedule that we had last year, just flipped, so we get to go on the road 5 times, home for 4 times. But what are you looking at as we head into this season?
Well, I mean, I'm really pleased with the family-type atmosphere that these guys are showing right now. They're working hard. They're getting after people. They're very coachable, and they're very close-knit already. And that's kind of sometimes you have to develop that tightness, but they've pretty well already had that taken care of.
Well, and it's going to be an interesting year when you've had a 3-year guy at quarterback in Bo Cornwell that's gone. You're going to have Gavin Hirschman coming into that spot. You've got some other guys that are fitting into spots. That's part of what makes the excitement of high school football. It's not like the NFL where you can keep a guy for 15 years. You got to make those changes every couple of years. So talk about some of those changes and that excitement.
Well, you know, Gavin's worked extremely hard at quarterback, and having his dad be the offensive coordinator probably doesn't hurt any. They can talk about it when they're eating supper or whatever, but I know John also does a great job not doing a lot of that at home. He's going to be a dad first. But Gavin's come on. He throws the ball extremely well and runs the ball well. So I think we're going to have a very good quarterback in Gavin. And I think the offense will be completely diversified this year. That we have a lot of different weapons that we can go to. And defensively, we return a bunch of people, and they are hungry. They want to get after people. They want to hit, and we think that that's going to be a strong suit. And so far in camp, our kicking game has been better than last year. We have kickers that can kick it a little deeper than we had last year, and we're excited about all 3 of those phases then meshing together so we can have a good, solid unit.
Well, and speaking of units, I know we always look offensive line, former guy myself up front there. Look at that group. You know, we lost a few guys off of there. You've got some guys that kind of sprinkled some experience. What are you anticipating from that group this season? Well,
you know, I think every offensive line has to develop a chemistry and a feel for one another, and they're kind of going through that right now. I thought the last 2 days in camp, they've done a lot better, and we have some depth there where we're trying to develop the top 5, plus we also want at least 2 and maybe 3 more on top of that. And this morning in practice, we moved a kid from a running back position into the line, and he looked very, very good in Morgan Hartz. And so we have some depth, I think, now, and we're going to continue to work on that. Numbers are down a little bit, 4 or 5 kids down. I think the problem in society today is the diversification needs to be we need to continue to encourage kids to go out for everything. And some people, want to specialize, and I think West Branch is too small a school to be specializing, and I really am against that concept. I want the kids to go out for everything they possibly can, whether it be sports, fine arts, drama, whatever, because they can have a lot of good life skills that way.
Finally, I mentioned the schedule. We flip everything, and I said this is going to be one of those kind of unknown years. Last year we came in, and you could scout some of these teams. They had guys that had been there for a few years. You knew what to expect. Feels like this year there's a lot of unknowns, so it's going to really be a learning curve on what to expect from some of these opponents this season.
And we're going to have to be ready to go off the get-go because of our first 4 games, 3 of them on the road. So that's a tough draw for us. 3 schools are 2A schools, and we're a 1A school. And so we have to be ready for that like we were a year ago, and I'm confident that that'll happen. We condition the kids extremely hard. That came from the Roger Hansen years, and I haven't forgotten that. And these kids are in very good shape.
We're looking forward to it, Coach. Thanks very much, and we're ready for the season to get going.
Thank you, and I also want to thank Larry Wall. He's one of my best friends. He was George Peoples when he played basketball at Iowa, and I was called Chris Purval, so we had a lot of good times together. But he had some tough things happen to him this spring, and he's bounced back, and I think he's one of the finest people I've ever been around.
Good to hear. Media Day 2019, kickoff just around the corner. Stay tuned here to westbranchfootball.com for all the details.